All right, in this video, we're going to talk about max mins and then absolute maximums, absolute minimums. I'm not going to go through all the actual definitions here. I'm just going to sort of translate it. The idea of this video, though, is to talk about an absolute maximum and an absolute minimum. So, for example, let's say we have a function. Now, most functions that we do are going to be, let's just say, I shouldn't say that. When it's application, you're going to have an endpoint. But let's say we have a function like this, like that. Okay, so let's say that there's no endpoints and it goes from negative infinity to infinity. We talk about relative max and relative mins. Okay, so we would say this is a minimum. This is a minimum. And this is a maximum. So a relative max or a relative min is kind of like within a certain area of the graph. Okay. At a max or a min, the slope is equal to 0. So we could say here the slope is 0. If we drew the slope of a tangent line, it would be horizontal here. It would be horizontal here. It would be horizontal here. If we talked about the slope of the graph, so I'm going to make another graph. Let me see if I can make it a little bit better. All right, let's look at this a little bit better. Okay, so here the slope is 0. Slope is 0. And slope is 0. Okay. If we drew tangent lines there, it would be 0, 0, and 0. To the left, the slope is negative. So slope is negative. Slope is positive, negative, positive. So a couple things that we talked about. We said when the slope is negative, a graph is decreasing. When it's positive, a graph is increasing. When it's negative, the graph is decreasing, positive, increasing. When you go from a negative to a positive or decreasing to increasing, we get a minimum. When it goes from increasing to decreasing, we get a maximum, and so forth and so on. So these are called relative extrema, meaning that just within a certain area of the graph. But this video specifically talks about absolute max, absolute min. So when we talk about absolute max, absolute min, we're talking about the graph has, let's say, an endpoint here. So let's say it looks like this, like this, like this, like that. Okay, so we've got a couple things going on here. And a lot of times, even, especially in the FRQs, when we do some word problems, an absolute max or min, I should say usually, a lot of time occurs at the endpoints. Because, for example, a lot of the FRQs will do has to do with the rate at which people enter or people exit, or people go onto a ride, or people exit an auditorium. So a lot of times the most amount of people or the least amount of people happens at the beginning or at the end. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So this would be considered again, slope is 0. This is a min. It's a max. This is a min. This is a max. All right, so those are all relative maximum and minimums because, again, the slope is 0, slope is 0, decreasing, increasing, increasing, decreasing, so forth and so on. Now, because we have endpoints here, this is actually the highest point on the graph. This is the absolute maximum, and this is the absolute minimum. Okay, so every graph that stops and starts within a certain interval has a max or a min. So, for example, if I just drew, let's say, a graph like this. Like this. Okay. If I just drew the graph to infinity, let's say like that, there would be no max or min. But if we cut it off and put endpoints, there's always going to be a maximum and a minimum at the very least. Okay, so it really comes down to finding the highest point on the graph and finding the lowest point on the graph. Okay, now it doesn't have to be the endpoints. You could have a graph. I'm just going to draw on this one here. Let's say we have an endpoint here. It appears as though it's the highest, but let's say it comes up like this, like that, like this, and goes like that. So this would be my absolute min. This would be a max. This would be a minimum. This is a max, but it's also the absolute max. okay, and so forth and so on. So it doesn't have to be the endpoint, but really what we need to come up with is, let's find, if we want the absolute maximum, we're going to find all the maximums, and then we're going to consider the endpoints. If I want to find the absolute min, I'm going to find all the minimums, and then find the absolute minimum, and check the endpoints, okay? So again, I just kind of talked about that, the relative extrema. All right, so this, we're just speaking about relative max, relative min. So again, it's within a certain area. And the way we're going to do that, there's a couple ways. We're going to get into the next section, but at least for the graphs that I just drew, if you remember, every like peak or valley, the slope was equal to 0. So what we would do is we would set the derivative, so set f prime of x equal to 0. That would tell us where these peaks or valleys happen, but then we also want to make sure that it goes from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. So I need like a positive slope to a negative or a negative to a positive, okay? So like here when I look at this graph, relative max, relative min, it's going from increasing to decreasing to increasing. Okay, so graph's going from increasing to decreasing, that's a maximum. Decreasing to increasing, that's a minimum. Okay, but an important note here, so we talked about this on your last test, right? This was a graph, and it asked if it was continuous or differentiable or vice versa. And if you answered the question correctly, it was continuous but not differentiable. So not only do we set where f prime is equal to 0, we also need to know where f prime of x is undefined. Okay, that's for finding the critical numbers. So again, we'll get to that more in detail in the next section, but when you look at this graph here, look, this is a minimum. Okay, it's not where the slope equals 0. This is actually where the slope is undefined. Okay, so it's very important to not only figure out where the slope is equal to 0, but where the slope is undefined. So when you have a graph with a fraction in it, so let's say y equals, actually let's do cube root of x. So when you take the slope of this, you're going to get 1/3 x to the negative 2/3. We get 1/3 x squared cubed. So this is the derivative. So what would make this equal to 0? Well, if x equals 0. So that's where the slope is undefined. So in this case, the slope is undefined at x equals 0. So that's another potential point of where a graph changes. Okay, where it goes from maybe decreasing, increasing, increasing to decreasing, which means it's a max or min, which again, is it the highest point on the graph, the lowest point on the graph? Those are things we're going to have to figure out. All right, so let's see what we got here. So a critical point. So a critical number is going to be when you set the derivative equal to 0 and when you figure out where it's undefined. Okay, and I'll bring in a few graphs to hopefully help you understand it, but what, like here, if you look at this one here, relative max, slope is 0. If we drew a tangent line here, it would go like this. Slope is 0. Tangent line, okay? Relative max, relative min. This is a relative max. It's also the absolute max. But I think what they're trying to do here is show that it's not differentiable, okay? So it still can be a maximum on a graph or a minimum on a graph. So it's important to set that equal to undefined or 0 to see where that point is, okay? All right, so let's go through how we do an absolute max, absolute min. So first, what we're going to do for this, so to find, so absolute max or min, which is absolute extrema. First, you're going to want to find the relative max or min. So find relative max or min. Now, how do we do that? So we're going to set f prime equal to 0 or f prime equal to does not exist. Okay, that's going to give us our potential critical numbers. Okay, then we're going to test the endpoints. So we're going to test endpoints. And then we're going to see which is the highest value and which is the lowest value. Now, if we're checking for points on a graph, we're plugging back into the original function. All right, so let's work through an example here. So this is asking absolute extrema is whenever they give you the closed brackets, that implies, now sometimes they do not say this on a multiple choice. I've seen it over and over and over again. It's implied. If they have the closed brackets, that's implying absolute, so you want to check the endpoints. So first thing we're going to do here is take the derivative. So I did that, pretty easy to do. You're going to set it, there's no undefined here. There's no fractions to worry about. So we're just going to set it equal to 0. I did GCF, so I got 0 and 1. These are what we call potential. So these are critical numbers. So these are critical numbers. Is not every critical number becomes a max or a min. If you equate it to velocity, we always figured out where velocity equals 0, right? To see where something changes direction. But just because the velocity equals 0 doesn't mean it changes direction. It could continue in the same direction. Okay, it's a potential point of change. Okay, so 0 and 1 are my critical numbers. So I'm going to just go here and I'm going to make an XY chart. This is one of the few times that you can use a chart on the AP exam. So for the FRQs, you'll see this often, is especially when we get to the word problems. FRQs, this is the only time I've ever seen them use a chart, and it's really just an XY chart. So I like to put them in order. So I have my 0 and 1, and then I'm going to check my endpoints. This does not mean -1 all the way to 2. It's just going to be -1 and 2. I'm just checking the endpoints. So I got -1, 0, 1, and 2. And I just want to see. Now, the better you get at this, you're going to realize maybe this isn't a max. Maybe this is not a min. So maybe I don't even need these in my chart. But we're just going to test all the points, okay? And I'm going to see which one's the highest, which one's the lowest. So I'm going to plug into the original function. So -1, I plug in here. I get 7, plug in 0, I get 0, plug in 1, I get -1, and 2, I get 16. Now, I'm literally just going to look at it. So this is my highest point. So the absolute max occurs at x equals 2. And this is my lowest point. Min occurs at x equals 1. Make sure you read the question. Sometimes they ask you where it happens. Sometimes they ask you the value of it. So if they ask you where, it's going to be the x value. The value is the y value. All right, next one. So this is a great question because this kind of ties in a little bit of everything. I'm going to actually graph this on Desmos, and I'm going to pull the graph in a second because I really stress as we're working through these max min problems, if you can make the graph and look at the graph on Desmos, it will do wonders for your understanding. This test tends to be very challenging. If you can look at the graphs, kind of understand where the slope is 0, maybe where the slope is undefined, where the function is defined but the slope is undefined, and things like that, it makes all the world of difference. So for this one, I just derived it. So now we're going to have to worry about where it's undefined. So I have to set it equal to 0 first. So that's what I did. So I just set this equal to 0. So 2 minus that equals 0. I brought this over like that. Get an arrow here. So I brought this over like that. I did a cross multiplication and I solved for x. So the derivative equals 0 when x is 1. So that's a critical number, okay? But I also need to figure out where it's undefined. So because I have this fraction here, 0 would make this undefined. So my critical points become 0 and 1. They may not even be max or mins, but I'm still just going to put them in the chart. Because this is asking for absolute extrema, I'm just going to put them into the chart and just go ahead and calculate the values and move on from there. So I've got the -1 from the endpoint. I've got the 0 that I found. I've got the 1 that I found and the 3 from the endpoint. I just plugged it in to the original function, and these are the heights I got. And then from there, you just answer the question. Okay, pick the highest value, pick the lowest value. Oh, actually, let me do this. I'm going to I'm going to pause the video for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this, and I'm going to pull in a picture, and we're going to talk about it. All right, so here's the graph of this. This is a really interesting graph. See if you can see it. All right, so we came up with two critical numbers. So we set the bottom equal to 0 because it was undefined, right? So look here. See how there's like a cusp there? So it's not differentiable. And then right here, there is a minimum, okay? So this would actually become a relative, right there is a relative max. Here's a relative min. Now, because this was closed off, like a closed interval, we have, we have a max and a min. So I don't remember what the answer was for this one, but the point, let me see if I can. Right, so at -1, this should have been a -5. That makes more sense. So at -1, -5 was the absolute minimum, and then the absolute maximum happened at I mean, 3 is like here. Yeah, so that's why at 0 was actually the absolute maximum, because it was sort of restricted from here to, let's say, there. Okay, but again, it's an interesting point here, in my opinion. You had this little cusp here. It was not differentiable. It turned out to be a maximum. Okay, and then here we had a relative min, but this ended up being the absolute minimum. So again, you want to set the top and bottom both equal to 0, especially when you have a fraction. Because if you set the top equal to 0, you're finding where the fraction equals 0. Set the bottom equal to 0, and that's where it's undefined. All right, so this is another great example of that. So find the absolute extrema. So first you want to find relative max or min. So I did quotient rule, and I simplified it. So you would ask me 10 gazillion times I have to simplify. Yes, you should simplify, because you have to set this equal to 0. So I'm going to first set the top equal to 0. So I did that here. So I got plus or minus 1. And then I'm going to set the bottom equal to 0, but there's no cases at which this ever equals 0. So my two critical numbers are plus or minus 1, and then I'm going to test my endpoints. Okay, so I've got -2, -1, 1, and 2. Plug it into the original function, okay? As you're going to see in the next section that, and even for word problems, it's going to make sense to you. Like, I don't know, -1, let me just say, -1 and 1. Well, in this case, they're both the max or mins, but sometimes, let's say they wanted an absolute minimum. Let's say they just wanted an absolute minimum, and you knew that these two were maximums. So you don't necessarily have to include them in your analysis, because you know that they're maximums, and you could really just pick the endpoint in that case. But we're not taking the time to test these. We're going to do that in the next section. What we're going to do is we're going to say, oh, plus or minus 1. So those are critical numbers. So I would check here, and then I try to see if it goes from positive to negative to positive, maybe, because then this would be a maximum, and then this would be a minimum. But because it's asking for absolute, a lot of times we don't really do this, because it's just as easy to just plug them into the chart and plug them into the original function. Okay, so it really depends on the context of the question. Okay, that's it for this video. The takeaway here is critical numbers, set the derivative equal to 0 or undefined. And then for absolute extrema, you're really just going to find the highest or lowest point on the graph. So we're going to check the endpoints, we're going to check the critical numbers, and we're going to pick the highest number and the lowest number. All right, you guys, hope that helped. See you in the next video.